Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today our topic of discussion is hypocalcemia and hypoparathyroidism. But before discussing these two things, I would like to discuss the little bit physiology or the calcium metabolism. The normal calcium levels in the blood of the human body are 8.5 to 10.5 milligram per deciliter. Let us discuss the distribution of calcium first. The calcium it is distributed as the body fluids 1%, and most of the calcium 99% of the calcium is stored in the bones or in the skeleton. In this 1% which is present in the body fluid, ECF contains 0.1% of this calcium, and intracellular fluid and the soft tissues contain 0.9% of this calcium. And in this ECF is further divided, this ECF levels of calcium is further divided into free or ionized calcium, which is 50% of this 0.1%, and bound, which is bounded with the protein, especially the albumin, 50% of this 0.1%. But remember, the most important thing here is this free or ionized calcium is actually biologically active compound. When the calcium levels of these free or ionized are reduced in the body, it actually stimulates the cyclic GMP receptors on the parathyroid gland. From the parathyroid gland, this parathyroid hormone is released, and this parathyroid hormone acts on the bone and causes calcium resorption from the bone, that is the shifting of calcium from bones into the extracellular fluid or blood. This parathyroid hormone also acts on the kidney and causes the calcium reabsorption in the distal convoluted tubule. And remember, the important point here is that the parathyroid hormone is phosphate trashing hormone. It causes hypercalcemia, that is calcium reabsorption in the kidneys, but at the same time it loses the phosphorus into the urine, so it causes hypercalcemia as well as hypophosphatemia in the blood. This parathyroid hormone is also important for the activation of alpha 1 hydroxylase enzyme, which is important for the activation of vitamin D3. By the action of this alpha 1 hydroxylase in the kidney, the vitamin D3 is converted into 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol, which is the activated form of vitamin D3. This vitamin D3 act on the gastrointestinal tract and causes the calcium reabsorption, so ultimately it also results in increased calcium levels in the blood. Now come to the point that vitamin D increases the calcium as well as phosphorus levels in the blood, and the parathyroid hormone increases the calcium, but here the important point is it decreases the phosphorus levels, as we discussed previously, that it causes hypophosphatemia. And calcitonin, as far as the calcium levels are concerned, calcitonin decreases the calcium level. It is antagonistic to parathyroid hormone and also decreases the phosphorus levels in the body. So this was the physiology or the calcium metabolism. Now come to the causes of hypocalcemia, that is reduced calcium. The most important or the most common cause of hypocalcemia is hypoalbuminemia. This is the most common cause. But remember here that this hypoalbuminemia is clinically insignificant. This cause of the hypocalcemia is clinically insignificant because the ionized or free biologically active calcium here in this case is normal, while the total calcium in the blood is reduced. Total calcium is reduced, but the free or ionized calcium remains normal. That is why it is clinically insignificant, because the features of hypocalcemia may not be developed in hypoalbuminemia, but in severe hypoalbuminemia maybe the hypocalcemic features developed. So when the patient came in the OPD with hypoalbuminemia, like the patient of cirrhosis or the nephrotic syndrome, in which the patient is losing frequently the albumin levels, doctor should correct the calcium levels and check whether the patient needs the calcium supplements or not. This is the formula for the checking the calcium levels. Corrected calcium is equal to measured calcium plus 0.84 minus measured albumin. Remember, when the measured albumin is reduced by 1 gram per deciliter, it reduces the calcium by 0.8. Suppose if the measured calcium levels are 8 mg per deciliter, so put these values 0.8, 4 minus, if the measured albumin in the blood is 2, 4 minus 2 is equal to 2, multiply by 0.8, it is 1.6, and add 1.6 with 8 is equal to 9.6. So the calcium levels are 9.6 mg per deciliter, which is in the normal range. So this patient does not need the calcium supplements. So this is the formula for corrected calcium. Now come to the hypoparathyroidism. It is another cause of hypocalcemia. We are going to discuss this cause in very detail. Hypoparathyroidism regulates the calcium. Parathyroid gland regulates the calcium as so decreased parathyroid hormone leads to decreased calcium levels in the blood. Decreased vitamin D, as we have discussed previously, the normal physiology, it also leads to decreased calcium or hypocalcemia. Decreased magnesium level actually impairs the parathyroid gland. It impairs the function of parathyroid gland, PT, parathyroid gland. As a result, decreases the PTH levels in the blood. So ultimately it also decreases the calcium levels and causes hypocalcemia. This hypomagnesemia is very common in short bowel syndrome, in malabsorption. As a result, it causes hypocalcemia. Now come to the other causes. Renal insufficiency or chronic renal failure. It is another cause of hypocalcemia. Because of renal insufficiency, vitamin D will not become activated into calcitriol. So decrease activated vitamin D3 levels leads to decreased calcium in the blood. Other causes are metabolic alkalosis. This cause is significantly very important because the total calcium levels are normal here, but here the problem is reduced or decreased ionized or free calcium, which is biologically active. Ionized calcium is reduced in this case when the metabolic alkalosis pH of the blood is increases, which as a result albumin becomes more negative. Albumins become more negative and calcium which is free got bind with this albumin. As a result, it form the complex with this albumin and reduces the free calcium in the blood. So here the ionized or free calcium is decreases. Other causes are hypophosphatemia, means increased level of phosphate. When the phosphate levels are more in the blood, the calcium got bind with this phosphate and form complexes and deposited in the ectopic sites, and as a result hypocalcemia may develop. Other causes are acute pancreatitis. In the acute pancreatitis, when the pancreas got damaged or it got damaged, and as a result the calcium and phosphorus got deposited in the damaged pancreas. As a result, the reduced calcium level may develop. And the other causes are blood transfusion. In the blood transfusion, especially the citrated blood, the calcium got bind with this citrate. As a result, free or ionized calcium levels are reduced in the blood. Other causes is, which is very rare, DiGeorge syndrome. So these all are the causes of hypocalcemia. Now come to the causes of hypoparathyroidism. In the hypoparathyroidism, the most common cause is post-thyroidectomy. Most of the surgeons, when doing the surgery, they accidentally got damaged or accidentally got damaged the parathyroid gland. As a result, the parathyroid gland becomes non-functional or damaged completely. So as a result, hypoparathyroidism may develop. Remember, this is the most common cause of hypoparathyroidism. This is important MCQ. And the other causes are congenital absence of parathyroid gland, idiopathic, familial and DiGeorge syndrome. These are the various causes of hypoparathyroidism, means reduced level of parathyroid in the blood. Now come to the clinical features of hypocalcemia is neuromuscular overexcitability. Remember the physiology, when the normal calcium in the ECF, and these are the sodium channels. This calcium actually regulates the sodium channels. It actually inhibits these sodium channels. So when the calcium levels are low in the blood or hypocalcemia, there is more influx of sodium and early depolarization may develop. As a result, neuromuscular overexcitability, it leads to neuromuscular overexcitability. Now come to the other clinical features. This is the triad: stridor, convulsions or fits, and carpopedal syndrome. This triad is important in the children, not in the adults. These features are very common in hypocalcemia in children. Stridor develops because of laryngeal spasm muscles. The muscles got spastic paralysis in case of hypocalcemia, which leads to stridor. And the other features are convulsions or fits. As we have discussed, the neuromuscular overexcitability leads to these convulsions and fits. Other feature is carpopedal spasm. In this, the flexion of the carpal muscles as well as the flexion of interphalangeal and the distal interphalangeal and metatarsophalangeal joint occurs like this, and abduction of thumb as well. So this is carpal spasm. These three are the features of hypocalcemia in the children. Other features are numbness or tingling sensations, especially circumoral tingling or numbness, means around the mouth, as well as in the foot and hands. Tingling sensations may develop because of hypocalcemia. Other most important feature is tetany. It occurs in very severe hypocalcemia. Now remember, these two signs are very important, and the examiner may ask you in the viva, what is the cavostic sign? In the cavostic sign, the doctor taps over the facial nerve here, over the parotid gland. When it taps over the parotid gland, where the actually facial nerve is present, this causes the twitching of facial muscles because of overexcitability of facial muscles, and it represents the hidden or latent tetany, and it represents the hypocalcemia. The other sign is Trousseau sign. In this sign, the doctor inflate the blood pressure cuff more than the systolic blood pressure of the patient, and then wait for the 3 minutes. After that, the spasm of the carpal muscles. These are the carpal muscles, and the spasm of these muscles and as well as the flexion of interphalangeal and metacarpophalangeal joint occurs, and adduction of thumb like this position. So this is Trousseau sign, and this develops after the inflation of the BP cuff, because as the inflation of the BP cuff, the blood supply to the hand is reduced. As a result, the calcium level of this area is reduced, and this sign may develop in the patient. Now the other features are basal ganglia calcification. In the hypocalcemia, when the calcium levels are low, while in the hypoparathyroidism, the phosphorus levels are high. These high phosphorus make the complexes with this calcium and got deposited in the ectopic sites, and as a result, the basal ganglia calcification may occur. Other features due to excitability of the neuromuscular system, grand mal epilepsy as well as cataract may develop in some patients. The most important features in the cardiovascular system are prolonged QT interval in the ECG. In the ECG, the QT interval becomes prolonged. So here there is a delay in there is prolonged QT interval. As we know that the calcium is important for the contraction of the heart muscle, so when the calcium levels are reduced in the blood, there is a QT prolongation, and which leads to arrhythmias in the heart. When the calcium levels are low along with decreased phosphorus levels and decreased vitamin D levels, all these features leads to rickets in children and osteomalacia in adults. So these all are the features of hypocalcemia and hypoparathyroidism, which are almost same. Now come to the diagnosis of low calcium levels or hypocalcemia. Check the blood urea nitrogen or the renal functions, because renal insufficiency is one of the cause of hypocalcemia. Check the calcium levels. If the calcium levels are reduced, it means that the patient has hypocalcemia. Check the other labs like magnesium, albumin levels, as hypoalbuminemia is the most common cause of reduced calcium. Amylase and lipase, as we have discussed previously, that acute pancreatitis is one of the cause of reduced calcium in the blood. And check the phosphorus levels. Vitamin D is also, if the vitamin D is deficient in the blood, ultimately when the vitamin D is reduced in the blood, as a result calcium levels are also reduced. And also check the parathyroid hormone, as one of the cause of as one of the cause of hypocalcemia is low amount of parathyroid hormone or hypoparathyroidism. Now come to the management of reduced calcium or hypocalcemia. If the patient presents with the in the emergency department with the tetany, give the patient 10% calcium gluconate, 10 to 20 ml over 10 to 20 minutes in IV form. Intravenous, give 10 to 20 ml of 10% calcium gluconate. If along with the calcium magnesium levels are also reduced, then correct the magnesium levels with IV infusion of magnesium chloride 50 millimoles per liter. In the long term management or the chronic hypocalcemia, give the patient calcium supplements, oral calcium supplements 1 to 3 gram per day, and vitamin D3 50,000 international unit once in a week for 8 to 10 weeks. So these are the doses of long-term management of hypocalcemia. Now come to the diagnosis of hypoparathyroidism. Check the levels of calcium. In hypoparathyroidism, calcium levels are reduced, that is hypocalcemia, but as we have discussed previously, phosphorus levels are high in case of hypoparathyroidism, and parathyroid hormones levels are below normal, and cyclic AMP in the urine is reduced as well. Now come to the management of reduced parathyroid hormone or hypoparathyroidism. Give the patient calcium and activated vitamin D3. But remember, check and balance is very important, because if you are overdosing the patient with vitamin D3 and calcium, nephrocalcinosis may develop. Nephrocalcinosis in these patients may develop, or hypercalciuria. In the next management, the other thing is give the patient teriparatide. This is the synthetic form of parathyroid hormone. This is recombinant synthetic parathyroid hormone. It has a major advantage over the calcium and vitamin D supplements, as it does not cause the nephrocalcinosis. It has no side effects like hypercalciuria and nephrocalcinosis. So it's all about the hypocalcemia and hypoparathyroidism. We will discuss the pseudo hypoparathyroidism in the next video. Thank you so much for watching this video.